Before I begin, I want to let you know that I am a fully developed man. I'm intelligent, I'm sovereign, I'm capable, quite capable of making my own decisions and exercising common sense, critical thinking. So, after me doing this video, please don't have sympathy for me because I've got it. I've got this. I'm just expressing something to you. Perhaps it will help some of you. Now, here we go. You have probably heard the old saying, your word is your bond. And I'm jumping in on this sort of firmly because this is a stickler with me. This is one of my pet peeves. First of all, I know me. And when someone asks me to do something for them, I have always, within the best of my ability, tried to accomplish their request and even exceed the requirement. If they ask me, for example, to pick them up at 5 o'clock, I'll pick them up. I'll be there at a quarter till 5. If they ask me to bring them something from the grocery store specific, I may bring something additional. That's just the way I am. If they ask me, for example, uh, would you give me $10 until tomorrow? And I say yes, you had better believe I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to say something happened, something came up. I'm going to give them the dollar or the $10 because I said I was going to. Have you ever experienced, you that I'm talking to, have you ever experienced people who say things to you, who promise things to you and have promised things to you and have given you their word that they were going to do something specifically for you and they didn't? Nothing wrong with that in and of itself because things do happen. But having the ability, especially in today's world, to pick up a phone, call you, and say something happened, things have changed, can we backdate it or push it back to a particular day, month, or time, or even text them, putting forth the effort to try to make it right and let them know that you're not going to be able to accomplish the thing that you said you were going to. Isn't that just common sense? Have you ever experienced this? Or are you one of those people who have promised someone something at a particular time, on a particular day or date, and you didn't do it, but you also did not notify them that you were not going to be able to come through as planned? If you are that individual, shame on you. And if you are the individual that has experienced that someone has done it to you, shame on them. I have had work that I wanted to have done in my business, and I have dealt with people who were friends and people who grew up around me and who I knew socially. Not all of them, but enough. They said, what about Friday? It's 3 o'clock, okay? And I said, are you sure? They said, yes, I'll be here at 3 o'clock. to fix your light, your switch, to paint, or whatever. 2:45 comes around, I'm expecting him. Maybe early. 3 o'clock, straight up, nothing. 10 minutes after, give them the benefit of the doubt. Say maybe they're caught in traffic or something like that. Nothing. Okay, 3:30. That's a half an hour late. Nothing. No phone call, no text. It is a quarter till 4 now. Now it's 4 o'clock. It's 4:30. No call, no show. Now, I will forgive you being in a car wreck, something that you don't have control over, and maybe not being able to use the phone. That's one thing, something of that sort. And I will forgive you dying. But I don't forgive or accept you still having all of your faculties about you. I don't accept you just simply dissing me, disrespecting me by not making any attempt to call me or contact me to say that you can't do it, no matter what the excuse is. I don't accept that. Now, I have allowed people to do this to me, an individual, one time. I said, okay. He sets up another date, does the exact same thing, and because of our friendship and relationship, I don't go in on it. And then again, it happens a third and the fourth time. So when do we just stop and say, pump the brakes? That's enough. I'm not going to take it anymore. I said in the previous video, maybe a few videos ago, that I'm tired now. As it relates to maturity, I'm at a place in my life, the things that I used to take and tolerate and allow, no more. It didn't start today, by the way, just so you know. But I'm not that person anymore. I was an electrician apprentice. And I learned basically how to wire a house and put receptacles and switches and lights in and so forth. I could do that right now as I'm speaking to you. But because of my time, it's not necessarily conducive with my time and all of the other things that I carry, even though I can do it. So I have a friend that's an electrician, a couple, and something is always coming up with them after they've given me a date to take care of a problem that I had. But not anymore. Make a phone call and say, hey, how you doing? One brother said, okay, how you doing? I said, not so good. This was been not too long ago. He said, what's going on? I said, you are going on. He said, what do you mean? I said, you told me you was going to do this particular job for me on a particular date, and you told me on more than one occasion, and you never called me, you never texted me, you never made any effort to contact me and say that you couldn't do it or was not able to do it at that time that we both agreed on. And I said, you know what? Just never mind. Don't concern yourself with it. Don't worry about it. I'm good. So, I'm just using him as an example, ladies and gentlemen, to say this. There is something terribly wrong when you can't keep your word. If you promise your children something, these impressionable minds, these young minds, when you promise your children something, and you shouldn't even have to promise them anything. Most people, most parents that promise their children something, they're only saying I promise because they have failed them many times in the past. But when you tell your child that you're going to do something for them, do it. Make a sacrifice for once in your life. Stop just talking into the wind. Stop just throwing false promises into the air that you're never going to make good. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to anyone for that matter. And you know what? It says a lot about you. You lack character. That is a character trait that's despicable. I don't know how else to express it. It's terrible to not keep your word. It's shyster. It's immoral. It's just out and out wrong because it emanates from your heart, as does good emanate from your heart. You have to really sit down and question yourself as a human being and ask, why is it that I'm a liar? Because that's what you really are. What would happen if you told someone that you was going to do something for them that is a matter of life or death, and you failed them after you told them that you was going to do it? And it could happen, and it has happened. What would you feel? How would you feel if you were responsible for someone possibly losing their home because you promised them something that you were going to show up, or someone had to go to the hospital and you said you were going to take them and they died? Or you told your children that you're going to come and see them on their birthday. It doesn't have to be a birthday, or see them period on the weekend or what have you. If you're a father that's not living in the home, or even a mom that's not living in the home and the father is providing the primary care for the children, and it does happen, how would you feel after you see that that child's heart was broken because your mom or dad, and you told them, and they're supposed to look up to you? How would you feel? You should be ashamed of yourself. If your word is no good, then you're no good. That's how serious this thing is. If your word is no good, it makes no difference what your talents are. You could be a singer, professional. You could be a professional handyman, carpenter, electrician, plumber, mason, whatever. You could be a police officer, a lawyer, a judge, a politician. It doesn't matter where you fall in the workforce. Your word, no matter who you are, should mean something. Guys, when you tell your wife something, carry it out. And ladies, when you tell your man or your husband something, carry it out. Stop making excuses. Now, you wonder why you have bad relationships, both with your companions and with your family in general. It's because you're fake. Because if you continue to not fulfill your word, as I said a moment ago, it makes you a liar. Are you a liar today? Most of us, most of you, don't want to accept who you are. And you will fight someone if they challenge who you are, because you don't like to hear the truth about you, because you can't stand the truth. Someone told me some years ago, you can't stand the truth. But they're the ones who can't stand the truth. You see, the truth exposes you. And when someone starts to tell you about yourself and you walk away, In most instances, it's the truth. You can't stand toe to toe with them when they're looking you dead in your eyes and confronting you with you. So, I said all of this to say this. Don't be a liar. Don't be the individual that always has an excuse after the fact. Stay and stick to your word. And if you haven't been good at it lately, perfect it. If you can't do something when someone asks you to do it, just simply say no. Or not now. Or I'm not able. But if you commit to something for someone or with someone, have the self-respect and have the dignity to see it through, to include and especially your family, your children. If you want people to respect you, if you want your children and your family, your companion to respect you, the only way that they're going to do that is to first respect your word. This brother teacher. Let me know what you think. Comment section below. Take care.